And howdy do. So how are you? I have got Matt's Burning Rosids. I'm having trouble speaking, from the Stone Brewing Company. I'm not going to be my usual goofy self for this video because of the reason for this beer. This was brewed in honor of a brewer that Stone lost last year. Matt Courtright passed away last year, and they've done several things in his honor. But one was this beer here, 10.5% Imperial Cherrywood Smoked Saison. So a very interesting style indeed. I haven't had this before, so I'm just going to pour a little bit here. It's probably a beer that you typically want to sit and warm up a little bit. I did not have it in the fridge, but it was out in my garage. It's very cold, so it's probably a little colder than I wanted. So, but I thought I'm going to pour a little bit and do a little video anyway with you. And, you know, we'll toast one in honor of Matt, who is obviously well liked. I didn't know him personally, but yeah, I did watch the video on Stone's website, so I'm not going to go into the backstory of the whole thing, because you really ought to read it and experience the video for yourselves. You don't need me to tell you about it. The aromas on this beer, it has a color of a Saison that you'd expect. I didn't get much of a hit. It could be because it's probably a lot colder than it ought to be. The aromas are beautiful, though. Actually, you certainly do smell. I do get the cherrywood smoke. Damned if I don't. Oh wow! Son of a gun! Wow, it's amazing. You know, I mean, this is it's an odd style. In fact, this may be the only cherrywood smoked Imperial Saison I've ever had. So I want to say right up front that, you know, hell, I don't know how they could have done it better. I mean, for its style, you can say this isn't a beer for you, but you can't pick on the craftsmanship of this beer. It is put together perfectly. It is a beautifully crafted beer. There is nothing wrong with it within what it is, within its style. I mean, you can say it's not for you. You can say this or that, but you can't say it's not perfect within its style. It is crafted perfectly from Stone. So I applaud them for what they've done and why they did it. It's a tough subject for me. It's tough, because last year was a tough year for our family too. My wife and I lost our son Seamus to leukemia. So when I read their story about, you know, how beloved he was, you know, it just brings back to our memories of Seamus, you know, that we, you know, again, Matt was a young man who had his whole life ahead of him, and there's no telling. He was already making his mark in the brewing world, and there's no telling what he would have done in that respect and other things, because he clearly had other things going as well. And then, you know, I reflect on my son, who was only 14 and was taken away, and who was a remarkable young man in his own right, you know. Oh, this beer's incredible. Seamus was one of those rare guys that defied styles. He defied cliques, you know. He didn't try to fit in with any group, and because of that, he fit in with every group, you know. He dressed his own way. He created his own style. He, you know, was involved in an after-school group called the Nerd Herd, which is what you'd expect it to be. He fit in with that group, but he also played basketball. And so he fit in with, you know, the jocks, to simplify it, but he fit in with every group in that school. When we had his memorial, I mean, folks from every possible junior high clique said basically the same thing about him, that he was nice to everybody. Several students came up and expressed that when they first came to the school, Seamus was the guy that made them feel welcome. And reading Matt's story, he seems like a similar type of fellow that just seemed to do the right thing, you know, without it having to be pushed upon him. So I applaud Stone for doing this. It's a remarkable beer. He was obviously a remarkable guy. And again, you know, here's to Matt and here's to Stone for honoring his memory in such an incredible way. There you go. I'm Tony the Beer Whisperer. Bye.